The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association CPA Africa Region Conference held in Banjul, the Gambia from 10th to 16th August 2025 for the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly laid on the table of the House on Thursday 30th October 2025. And Mr. Menya Nizulu, Member of Parliament, was about to add his voice to the motion. So we do expect him to keep on debating of the motion.
Yes, indeed, and we must make mention that this motion has been seconded by Dudumwezi Member of Parliament, Mr. Edgar Singombe, and Saufa Lunte Member of Parliament, Mr. Mtotwe Kafwaya, has debated the motion. And still to be considered on the floor of the House, we have orders of the day. We do expect the House to consider the Cotton Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2025 at second reading stage. We also expect a resumption of debate on the motion of supply, a motion of 4th November, which was moved by the Minister of Finance and National Planning, that the House do now resolve into Committee of Supply on the estimate of revenue and expenditure for the year 1st January 2026 to 31st December 2026, presented to the National Assembly in September 2025.
The House has so far considered 6 ordinary questions, understanding Order 8, and so 17 hours we do expect the House to reconvene and continue with its business for today.
Good afternoon. Bells are ringing, which signifies that a quorum has not yet been constituted. It is a requirement that 1/3 of members of Parliament need to be present for business to be transacted on the floor of the House. So once a quorum is constituted, we do expect business of the House to resume. At the time business was suspended for the break, under consideration was a motion that has been moved by Mr. Mishek Nyambose, who is Chasefu Member of Parliament, urging that this House adopts the report of the Zambian delegation to the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Africa Region Conference held in Banjul, the Gambia from 10th to 16th August 2025 for the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 30th October 2025. And this motion has been seconded by Dudumwezi Member of Parliament, Mr. Edgar Singombe.
Still to come, we do expect the House to consider the Cotton Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2025 at the second reading, as well as a motion of 4th November, which was moved by Minister of Finance and National Planning, that the House do now resolve into Committee of Supply on the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 1st January 2026 to 31st December 2026, presented to the National Assembly in September 2025. So as soon as the quorum is constituted, the business will resume. It seems we have quorum.
When business was suspended, the House was considering the motion moved by the Honorable Member for Chasefu that this House adopts a report of the Zambian delegation to the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association CPA African Region Conference held in Banjul, the Gambia, from 10th to 16th August 2025 for the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 30th October 2025. And the Honorable Member for Nyimba had just started debating. May the Honorable Member continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want us to look at the adaptation in climate fight in Africa, Mr. Speaker. and how Africa is doing as of yesterday or today, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Africa has been relying upon the Western world to finance our climate change. And we all know that nothing would come from Western world to help out an African without a special interest. So if you look at our country today, Mr. Speaker, that Zambia since 1990 is in MMD government, in PF government, now in UPND government. We have been collecting money to finance climate fight or climate adaptation. But today, if you ask the Minister of Finance, how much money of that money we are collecting, we are spending on adaptation on climate, you find that there is no money coming from Treasury to go towards this. We are still asking the world, the Western world to finance us. While we are taxing every car owner in this country, all of us here, we know that we are paying carbon levy or carbon tax. The question is, where is the carbon tax going? What is it that we are supplying back into our nation to fight climate change? Yes, I know Africa, we produce very, very small carbon, which is about 0.2 or 0.4, and out of that, Nigeria and South Africa, they produce maybe half of it. But the effect, the people affected, it's us like the Zambian country. So my plea to the executive is that let's see that the money we are collecting from carbon levy, let's invest it back, other than waiting for the Western world to support us. Mr. Speaker, on artificial intelligence, who is the owner of the data we are using? Are we able to develop a system which we are going to keep as Zambia? For example, we've been asked by CPA that the government's parliament should embrace this and develop it, a unit like for in terms of the Zambian parliament, which we have. But the question is, the privacy of this data, the content of this data, who owns it? We have technicians out there, we have engineers there. Are they able, or it's them who are designing this data, or we are doing a copy and paste type of development, developing the software? So these are the things we should be asking ourselves. Are we developing this software on our own, or we are asking others to develop a software, then keep it and use it? Then we are not adding up. Because even the people out there in the world, in the Western world, Mr. Speaker, they are just educated as we are. A good number of them, they are even maybe technicians, they are not even PhD holders. But in this country, the biggest problem, Mr. Speaker, I've seen that a good number of those who are highly educated, they intend to sit in the offices instead of being innovative. We have on page, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Speaker, on page 14, we are talking about boosting the industrialization through value addition and local manufacturing. But Mr. Speaker, when we ask ourselves today in our country, yes, I know the minister, sorry, I'm not debating you, minister, but the minister of infrastructure will tell you that on those days we had the ITT in Livingstone, but Nova Zambia in Ndola, we had Leyland in Ndola, we had a good number of manufacturing companies within our country. The question is, how many graduates did we have by then, and how many graduates are we having today? Then we had very few numbers of graduates, but we had to do more wonders. What has gone wrong? We need to start asking ourselves, are we going to promote this? Because for us to industrialize, we need to start doing something. We need to start manufacturing. We need to start building up things. Mr. Speaker, you may wish to know that Zambia now is a producing country for innovators. If you go to Australia today, Mr. Speaker, you find that at every 100 innovators, maybe 1 or 2 are Zambians. Why is it that they left this country? We are not putting much in research. How much money are we investing in our research institution in Zambia? Today, if you look in our budget today, the research institution, you find that there's very minimal allocation to them, if not zero. So for us to start industrialization, we need to see to it that we are supporting those schools who are able. We had a boy from Chipata Trades. He came up with electrical vehicle. We had a boy from Notech who came up with electrical vehicle. How much money, how much support came out of these innovators? None. Those innovators, do you know where they are now? They are in Australia, being helped out by those governments. What I'm asking is, can we start helping out this? Can we start the Ministry of Science and Technology? It's our time to invest in these people. Let's not just look at those who are going to give us PhDs in law, PhDs in business admin. The real people we need to have in this country now are innovators. We have more educated men and women up there. But are we having innovators here? No. We have professors just writing up, publishing up books here and there without giving us a tangible thing as the professors. So if we want to industrialize, we need to see to it that government pushes money into these schools, pushes money into institutions that can help us build up our industries. It's not going to take somebody from America or from Harvard to come and tell us. It's on our own. And this is what CPA is doing. This is what CPA is saying. Now, here's the problem, Mr. Speaker. CPA, our members of CPA here, they attend CPA's meeting without a problem. IPU, they attend without a problem. But where we discuss actual African problems in terms of climate change, in terms of agriculture, today Africa is coming up with a model law on agriculture, soil management. But Zambia is missing on the scene because we can't sponsor members of parliament to go to African parliament. All we can sponsor is those who are going to CPA and those who are going to IPU. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Member from Pika.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity for me to add the voice of the people of Mpika to this very important subject. And Mr. Speaker, as I support the adoption of this report, whose theme was strengthening democratic governance and resilience in Africa, tackling conflicts, economic shocks, and climate risks. Mr. Speaker, I want to focus on good governance. You failed to pronounce confidentiality this afternoon. Good governance, Mr. Speaker, refers to the effective, transparent, accountable, and equitable management of countries' affairs, institutions, and resources in a way that responds to the needs and rights of citizens. It is a key foundation for democracy. Mr. Speaker, our country is a multi-party democracy. Political parties have to exist to offer credible checks and balances to the party in power so that the party in power can deliver to the expectation of the citizens. However, in our case, from 2023 to now, the largest opposition political party, Mr. Speaker, was taken over by state actors, thereby...
Order, Honourable Member. May you take your seat? Honourable Member, whatever you say, you need to be very factual. Time without number on the floor of the House, especially when I'm presiding, I've said that don't bring your misunderstandings in your own political party to the floor of the House. And you don't have any evidence that the state is involved. You know very well that the current president of PF is also PF, Honorable Chawinga. But so let's ensure that don't bring the state. You may proceed.
Mr. Speaker, institutions, state institutions and institutions of governance exist to serve the Zambian people. And in this case, when the office of the Registrar of Societies decides to change office bearers of the political
Honorable
party,
member, may you take your seat?
Just allow him to debate. Send him out where?
I think I've guided you. The registrar or office of the registrar is not in the house to debate, to contribute or to argue with you. So you've got a report that you have. Ensure that you restrict yourself to that report. If you continue, I'll curtail you. You may proceed.
Mr. Speaker, the report in my position says the role of African parliaments in fighting graft and promoting good governance. This is where I have trained my mind to focus on. However, Mr. Speaker, I do not want to waste much of your time. Mr. Speaker, the report talks about the promotion of industrialization. Mr. Speaker, this is very important. Currently, in Zambia, we have high youth unemployment rate, standing at 17.2%, as provided for in terms of statistics by the Central Statistical Office. And it is so, Mr. Speaker, because we lack industries where the youths can work from.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker,
There's a point of order by the Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, our standing orders, indeed, 71, talks about relevance. And also that we need to be very factual. Mr. Speaker, the Speaker, Honorable or debater, Honorable Kapyanga, is insinuating that there is a lot of unemployment levels in the country. Mr. Speaker, is in order, especially that is coming from a regime which made 3 reckless and bad decisions, Mr. Speaker. And these decisions, Mr. Speaker, number 1 is the retirement age, which they paid from 55 to 65 years. And yet, Mr. Speaker, people were graduating. For 10 years, we couldn't have space for the young people to find space, find jobs. As that was not enough, Mr. Speaker, they again went further by making another bad and reckless decision. The employment freeze. The employment freeze. And yet, the universities, colleges were flooding graduates on the market. As that was not enough, even after 10 years that they had to add, they started bringing people back on contracts for 2 years, 3 years. Mr. Speaker, is Honorable Kapyanga in order? After now we have started improving, especially by removing the employment freeze, and also by starting reducing the retirement age now coming back to 60 instead of 65 years, And also, just bring those specialized, Mr. Speaker, is in order, especially that is coming from PF, who made all these bad decisions to say that we have unemployment levels in the country. I need your serious ruling, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Minister has sufficiently debated his point of order. May the Honorable Member for Mpika proceed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And we are talking about industrialization, which is far from the public sector that the Honorable Minister is trying to refer to in his so-called point of order. Mr. Speaker, I was saying we've got high unemployment rate amongst the youths, which stands at 17.2. This is so because we lack industries where these youths can work from. And in this case, the report is urging parliaments to ensure that laws that support industrialization are formulated in the areas of agriculture, mining, and also manufacturing. Mr. Speaker, in Muchinga, Northern, Luapula, part of Central Province, Eastern, we lack, and also Northwestern, Western, and other provinces, we lack multi-facility economic zones where industries are clustered together and youths can find employment in those areas. The UPND, which is in power today, Mr. Speaker, promised the youths that they would create 1 million jobs in 5 years. And those 1 million jobs, Mr. Speaker, have not been created. And this is the more reason why I support this report, because with the adoption of this report, I'm sure the UPND will remember that indeed they promised the Zambian youths 1 million jobs when they form government. And on that basis, they were elected to save the Zambian people. Mr. Speaker, in Mchinga province, we grow mangoes, we grow tomatoes, we grow everything. We've got enough raw materials that can be used in the manufacturing sector. If the government could facilitate the establishment of industries, you cannot have all the industries dotted along the line of rail. This is the more reason why high unemployment rate is in rural areas. And the same youths in rural areas who have no access to farming inputs so that they could venture alternatively in farming. Mr. Speaker, this report on the issue of industrialization, it is a well-timed call which must be supported by all of us, more especially at this time when the youths who do not have jobs have resorted to vices such as becoming junkies and all that. With an industrialized country, we may have these youths employed. Mr. Speaker, China, when China started its industrialization, it had a 5-year plan. It had a 5-year plan, which plan was implemented as a foundation for serious industrialization. Mr. Speaker, I need your protection, or should I protect myself? I'm very capable, Mr. Speaker, against the hooligans this side.
No, you are protected.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
And you can proceed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what I was saying is, what China did was they started the foundation, the industrialization foundation, in a phased manner. The first 5 years, they set a very strong foundation for industrialization, and they created areas where they needed these industries to be. And we are calling upon this government to ensure that at least they come up with what Ghana has done. a district industrialization policy which see the establishment of industries at least in every district of the country. That kind of a policy, Mr. Speaker, is helping is helping Ghana to have serious industries across the country, unlike just having industries along the line of rail. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I support this report, and I thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Mitete.
Mr. Speaker, totally grateful to give me this chance to raise a point of order. Of course, standing order number 71. Not too long ago, and we have not forgotten, the Member of Parliament for Pika called us rats and cockroaches. He asked for forgiveness.
Honorable Member from Pika, may you take your seat? May you take your seat? Honorable Member, may you take your seat? Even before I guided, you stood. Meaning that you want to take my powers. Honorable Chisanga, please let's avoid debating while he's seated. The Honorable Member for Mitete, I think we should heal. Let's avoid. Let's avoid opening the wounds. No. I think we know your order. I know you to be a very forgiving Member of Parliament. And two wrongs can't make a right. I know you know that at no time since you came into Parliament, even before, did you use such kind of words to someone. Yes. So I think I urge you not to repeat what was said. That was quite inhumane. It was said, let's forget about it. May you proceed, but I've guided you.
That was done and forgiven. Today, we here, look at him. Look at Lumezi there. Very innocent. Hooligans. No. This is a house of order and respect as we respect him. Was he in order? The whole side of your right, hooligans. That shouldn't be the case. That is my serious point of order. We have healed. He must also change his language. He must also get to know what this house is all about. That's all I'm asking from my brother. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. But we have healed and forgiven for the sake of the nation and progress, development. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I think I will need to have access to the verbatim, so I reserve my ruling. I will look at it, and thereafter I will render my ruling. We should proceed. May the honourable member for Chasefu wind up debate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I think in winding up debate, I would like to appreciate what Honorable Member for Mitete has done to calm down the emotions. It's quite unfortunate. First, before I say that, I want to thank the seconder of the motion, Honorable Member for Dundumwezi. I want also to thank Honorable Member for Lunte. I want to thank Honorable Member for Nyimba, and also thank the Honorable Member from Pika. Mr. Speaker.
There's a point of order. The Honorable Member for Shwangandu.
Mr. Speaker, this is the House of Order and Procedure. My point of order is procedural. Ordinarily, that report is supposed to be reacted to by the government through the Minister of Home Affairs. Are they in order, sir? All of them collectively?
May I take your seat, Honorable Member?
Are they in order to...
May you take your seat, Honorable Member? Let me guide. It's not all the reports that are responded to by government. I know you've been here too long, maybe you were not observant. So it's not all the reports, that Honorable Member, I've guided you. It's not all the reports that are responded to. It should have been an oversight on you for all these years that you've been here. May you proceed?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the guidance. In the winding up debate, Mr. Speaker and members of this House, you will note that this report is a regional report. This is a regional report, and the recommendations here are generic. And I want to emphasize, these recommendations are not specific to this country, Zambia. There are recommendations for Africa, generally. So when you see debate pointing out as if these recommendations are pointing at the omissions or shortcomings in Zambia, is quite unfortunate. We are giving a report how African region are observing in areas of industrialization. In these areas, you note that over the short time of this short period, we are doing something as a country. I'm giving an objective opinion. We have seen factories coming up. We have seen industry reviving in this country. We can do better, but to generalize and point out as if this report is pinpointing at our country that there's nothing happening in areas of industrialization, we are not being patriotic to our country. The other issue I wanted to talk about is that the issue of graft. Yes, what is the country Zambia doing in the areas of graft? And I want to appeal that as members of parliament who are here, both sides, we should agree that for us to develop, we should fight graft. So those who are being visited should not be celebrated. Let us clap that they are being incarcerated. But the moment we sit on their side, because they are being you visited and you call it persecution, we are not being fair. We are not going to develop our country. And I wanted to appeal that we should sober up as members of parliament. The tone that we are having, a very innocent report, but the tone that is there, the vigor, the bitterness,
is not building this country. We should objectively look at these reports which are coming from your committees, look at them and pick sense from them and how we can move on as a country. But you see the bitterness. We are not being patriotic as the names of our parties define. We should take Zambia first. So when you look at the debate that is coming, it's very unfortunate. So as I appreciate, it's a normal thing to appreciate even things that are not okay. But you know that we should put aside our partisan roles and look at what are the reports talking about. What is it that we can pick as Zambia to move forward? This government is trying its best. As the seconder indicated, we are being appreciated on the CDF. We can't hide, Mr. Speaker. This whole Africa is wondering how Zambia is coming up to give money to the poor people, so that they can determine their own development. Zambia is a model, and we should not look at it. If these people came up with such a policy, let us appreciate their Zambians. That's why they were voted into power. As we failed. So we should, next time we should even do better. We are moving the country forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I put the question. The question is that this House adopts a report of the Zambian delegation to the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association CPA Africa Region Conference held in Banjul, the Gambia from 10th to 16th August 2025 for the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 30th October 2025. As many as of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. The clerk will read the orders of the day.
The Cotton Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2025, second reading.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be now read a second time.
The question is that the bill now be read the second time. Any debate? The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank the Committee on Agricultural Lands and Natural Resources for the well-articulated report which has brought out important issues from our stakeholders. I also wish to thank other members of the House and indeed our stakeholders for their valuable inputs to shape the bill. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Agriculture is proposing to introduce a bill in Parliament to repeal and replace the Cotton Act number 21 of 2005. The proposed bill is aimed at unlocking the sector's full potential, revitalizing the local industry, as well as improving the livelihoods of thousands of smallholder cotton farmers across the country. The current Act, which was operationalized in 2007, has several challenges that have continued to hinder the growth of the cotton sector. The Act provides a limited regulatory scope that ends at the ginning stage of the cotton value chain, exacerbating persistent structural and operational challenges, and has hindered the Cotton Board of Zambia from effectively overseeing crucial downstream activities such as lint marketing, export regulation, and local value addition. Therefore, this proposed bill aims to transform the Cotton Board of Zambia into a cotton development organization with an expanded mandate that encompasses the entire value chain from input supply and seed development to processing, marketing, and byproduct utilization. This transformation will ensure that regulatory services are extended to every actor, including those involved in textile manufacturing and other cotton-based industries. Mr. Speaker, the committee, through their interaction with stakeholders, made some observations and recommendations on the proposed bill. At this juncture, allow me now to respond to these observations. Number one, exclusion of key stakeholders. We take note of the committee's recommendation, and the bill shall be amended to include any stakeholders as advised. Number two, composition of the Price Consultative Forum. Indeed, the committee's recommendation is well noted, and the composition of the Price Consultative Forum shall be revisited to ensure that the representatives of key industry players are included. Number 3, powers of law enforcement officers. The committee recommendation is well noted. The arrest without a warrant in certain circumstances is meant to be a preventative measure to secure goods for evidence and security reasons. However, our legal experts will revisit the clause to advise how best this concern can be taken care of. Number 4, dominance of private sector cotton growers. We take note of the committee's observation and recommendation. Government is already taking concrete steps to improve the cotton production and value chain processes. Bringing this bill to the House is testament of government's commitment to improve the cotton sector. Mr. Speaker, the Cotton Bill 2025 is designed to have significant and multifaceted impacts on Zambia cotton sector. Its key impacts include: 1, fair pricing and market transparency; 2, revitalization of the local textile industry; 3, improved seed extension systems; and 4, enhanced quality and international reputation. Overall, the Cotton Bill seeks to transform the sector by making it more equitable, productive, and competitive, both domestically and internationally. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Any further debate? The acting chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources, the Honorable Member for Magoe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with its terms of reference, as set out under Standing Orders 206A and 207J of the National Assemblies of Zambia, Standing Order 2024, the committee was tasked to scrutinize the Cotton Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2025. In order to appreciate the ramification of the bill, the committee interacted with stakeholders who tendered both written and oral submissions before it. Mr. Speaker, as the House may be aware, the bill seeks to continue the existence of the Cotton Board of Zambia, established under the Repealed Act, reconstitute the board of the Cotton Board of Zambia, provide for the stages of grading and classification of seed cotton, establish a price consultative forum, provide the establishment of the seed production zone, and repeal and replace the Cotton Act number 2021 of the 2005. Mr. Speaker, the Cotton Act number 21 of 2005 was inadequate in addressing the challenges which were faced by giners and producers of cotton, which severely impacted the growth and sustainability of the cotton sector in the country. The Cotton Act also failed to effectively regulate the production, ginning, and marketing of seed cotton by giners and producers in the cotton sector. As a result, it had led to the poor production and yield of cotton. Mr. Speaker, it has therefore become necessary to repeal and replace the Cotton Act number 21 of 2005 in order to enhance the regulation of production, ginning, and marketing of seed cotton by giners and producers in the cotton sector in order to address existing gaps and align with international best practices. Mr. Speaker, allow me to state that all stakeholders who appeared before the committee were in support of the bill. However, they raised a few concerns which have been documented in the report. Mr. Speaker, the committee also supports the bill, but in doing so, it has made some observations and recommendations which I will now highlight. Mr. Speaker, the committee observes with great concern that the bill has excluded several key stakeholders who were part of the Cotton Act number 21 of 2005. Stakeholders such as the department under the ministry, which is responsible for marketing and cooperatives, the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, the textile industry, and the Ministry of Finance and National Planning. Mr. Speaker, the absence of these other stakeholders will weaken market coordination, environmental compliance, textile value chain integration, and financial oversight. Mr. Speaker, while the introduction of the Price Consultative Forum is progressive and commendable, the committee has observed some gaps in the composition of the forum, as it is lacking representation of critical industry players such as Ministry of Finance and National Planning, the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, and the Zambia Environmental Management Agency. Mr. Speaker, the committee is therefore recommending that the Price Consultative Forum should be expanded to include representatives from the Ministry of Finance and National Planning, the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, and the Zambia Environmental Management Agency. Mr. Speaker, the committee observes with concern that Clause 31 of the bill empowers law enforcement agencies to make arrests without a warrant under certain circumstances. Mr. Speaker, the committee is aware that such provisions may be necessary in order to strengthen enforcement capacity, but fears that the absence of warranty requirements can encourage discretionary enforcement, harassment, and abuse. If it is not addressed, it may create mistrust between regulators, farmers, and other stakeholders in the cotton sector. In this regard, Mr. Speaker, the committee strongly recommends that the bill should not contain a clause that encourages possible arrests of farmers and other players in the cotton industry without warrant, in order to avoid creating mistrust among the cotton industry players. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, allow me to render my most sincere gratitude to you and the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly for the guidance and support rendered to the committee throughout its deliberation. Further, the committee wishes to thank all stakeholders who made submissions to it during the consideration of the bill. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture to wind up debate.
Mr. Speaker, the enactment of the Cotton Bill number 12/2025 embodies the government's collective commitment to building a resilient, competitive, and inclusive cotton sector. It reflects, Mr. Speaker, the values of transparency, empowerment, and industrial transformation. I therefore call upon the members of this August House, and indeed our stakeholders, to continue to support the proposed legislation, as it is not merely a legal update of the Cotton Act number 21 of 2005, but a foundational shift that places Zambia's cotton farmers, processors, and manufacturers at the center of national development. Let's work together, dear colleagues, to build a future where Zambia's cotton industry is not only sustainable, but also a source of pride, prosperity, and global recognition. Mr. Speaker, I thank you most sincerely.
I put the question. The question is that the bill be read the second time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Let the bill be read the second time.
The Cotton Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2025.
Commit stage to be taken when?
Wednesday, 12th November 2025, Mr. Speaker.
Committee stage to be taken on the 12th of November. Next order.
Supply motion of 4th November, supply motion 4th November, resumption of debate.
When the House adjourned yesterday, Tuesday, 4th November 2025, the House was considering the motion moved by the Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning that the House do now resolve into Committee of Supply on the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the 1st January 2026 to 31st December 2026, presented to the National Assembly in September 2025. Any further debate? The Honorable Member for Chimwemwe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The people of Chimwemwe would also want to say one or two things over the motion of supply. Honourable Minister, we're looking at the budget with regards to mobilization of the resources, or let me say revenue. This, Honourable Minister, we know that for this year we shall be financing our revenue from domestic, which is about 206 billion. Honourable Minister, Mr. Speaker, sir, if the country wants to mobilize resources of 200 billion, then you know that the ZRA has to find the finances. This is what worries the people of Zambia, because ZRA, Honourable Mr. Speaker, needs to find the money, and they've started introducing new taxes. For instance, they've started introducing a tax called MAT, or in full it's called Minimum Alternative Tax. This minimum alternative tax, Mr. Speaker, is very detrimental to our growth of the SMEs. 1% charged annually on turnover. Honourable Mr. Speaker, if you ask me how are the Zambian small companies going to afford to pay 1%, if at all they're not making any profit? This should not be open-ended, this should be selective. I know that the people that are not paying taxes are usually the foreign shop owners, mostly in Kamwala, or perhaps the foreigners that are on pharmacies. Even them applying this same method will not yield any result, because if you go to Kamwala today, they will not charge you, they will not give you any receipt, and they want you to pay in cash. If you don't have cash, you have to pay through mobile, but the mobile money transactions will not go to their company mobile money. So as a result, you cannot trace the funds. So this 1% now will be borne by the Zambian SMEs and the Zambian companies that are actually trying to make a living, and they can't. Here's a practical example. Let's look at a filling station. We all know that filling stations rarely make any profits, but we know that their turnovers are high. Now this 1% on a filling station, how much will the filling station pay at the year end? Because obviously he's not making any profit. ZRA is in a hurry to make money for the Ministry of Finance, but I think they better find better ways of doing it. The MAT tax initiative, Mr. Speaker, is a wrong one. Wrong one in our country, wrong one in any other country. Very few countries use it, and most of them have used it and have stopped using it because it has not given them the desired results. Let's look at another withholding tax agency, which ZRA just discontinued on 1st of August. Why did they discontinue? Because the mines and government were not paying them on time. And what do? They take that huge burden and give it to this SME. The SME who practically has no control over when VAT will be paid. But what do they do to him? This SME, Mr. Speaker, has to pay the penalties because the mines are not paying on time. This is very funny, because this is where ZRA is forcing you to become their new agent, to collect money from the old agent, an old agent who was failing to pay them simply because ZRA also was not actually refunding them. So now the onus is on these SMEs. And it's unfortunate that when ZRA went to the Copper Belt, these organizations that look after our SMEs and mine suppliers did not bring up this issue with ZRA Director General. Neither did they do it with the Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, when you go to the Copper Belt, the people that are supplying the mines are complaining. They're being bombarded by so many penalties because they have not remitted the VAT. Not that they've used their VAT, but because the mines have not paid them on time. So this is very, very unfair. And because of that, they cannot even access what you call is a tax clearance certificate. Without tax clearance certificate, Honorable Mr. Speaker, they cannot trade anywhere. So what we're trying to do right now is actually killing their businesses even before they start. Further than that, let's look at now domestic borrowing. Domestic borrowing is good when the country is borrowing. But there also is a disadvantage on the companies that need to borrow, because you agree with me that once the government wants to borrow, all banks become excited because they know that they're borrowing a person or an institution with the very good, security. So as a result, once next year comes, the more banks will take all their money to the government, and there'll be very little money in circulation to give to that SME. So SMEs will have to find alternative areas or financial institutions that will give them loans, obviously at a higher rate. And one wonders what the Monetary Policy Committee at Bank of Zambia is doing, because we've understood that the minister gave us his indication here where the inflation rate has gone down by, I think, by 4% or so, if I'm not mistaken. We've noticed that the kwacha keeps appreciating. But we have not heard anything about the monetary policy rate, because we were expecting that at least a few 100 basis points could have also been reduced. We know that they're trying to control inflation. Yes, they can control inflation, but you can't force it. What you need to do is you have to relax this as well to look at the other businesses. We know that government needs money, but as much as the government needs money, we also need the companies to survive. Because some of us that come from Chimwemwe, these companies are the ones that employ our people. And at the same time, these are the companies that bring in economic activities in our communities. Mr. Speaker, let me look at the water. We haven't had water in Chimwemwe for a very long time, simply because now we understand. We're listening to the minister's presentation of the budget, where he says the cost of producing water is at 18 kwacha. But the water utilities are selling it at 7 kwacha 19 ngwe. The people of Chimwemwe are saying they would rather pay the 18 kwacha and have a bit of water, because we haven't had water in a very long time, and this is the reason. Because so long as the government tries to subsidize this or perhaps just cover it up, we are never going to get our water. We need water, so we are saying let them go ahead and charge us 18 kwacha. Let the people of Chimwemwe have running water. We are tired of having boreholes. We've sunk so many boreholes. And our fear now is we are now affecting the groundwater. And very soon, with the water coming, there could be contamination. We don't want to have another outbreak of a water disease simply because we cannot have water. We know that ZESCO did the same thing. Surprisingly, ZESCO has reduced its tariff, even when we disagreed with them that the tariffs they had actually introduced were way too high. But just a few days ago, ZESCO has actually reduced its tariffs by 50%. So one wonders, first we were complaining about cost-reflective tariffs. We allow them to go ahead, though we were not happy. Now they're telling us they're reducing it by 50% and giving us a grace period of 2 years. Why should they do that once we got used to it? Let them just go back to the old tariff. We're not, we don't want to be treated as yo-yos. Today you tell us this, we tighten our belts, we get used to the system, then tomorrow you tell us, no, we're reducing it for what? What's the reason for them to reduce it now? We want to get used to it, just like we want the water the water tariffs to be at 18 kwacha, Mr. Speaker, so that we get used to it.
The time
Thank
is
you.
up, Honorable Member. I'm surprised that you're not happy that tariffs were reduced. Any representative should be happy. Me, I'm happy that my people of Rwangeni will access cheaper tariffs. So every member of parliament should be happy and commend government for that. That despite the challenges that we are having, but tariffs were reduced. We must be happy, as opposed to complain. You must be happy, Honorable Member. I'll come to Chimwemwe and tell your people that your member of parliament was not happy. I honor the Vice President adjournment.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the House now adjourns.
As no notice of an item for debate on the motion of adjournment of the House has been received, I put the question The question is that the House now adjourns. Any debate? Any objection? The question is agreed to the House. Is now adjourned.
To resume sitting tomorrow, Thursday at 14:30 hours. Time now to look at the business which has been considered on the floor of the House today, 5th November 2025.
Yes, indeed, Joe. When business commenced at about 14:30 hours, Madam Speaker did make some announcements. Madam Speaker recognized the presence in the public gallery of officers from Public Policy Academy in Lusaka District. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, warmly welcomed the visitors to the National Assembly.
Madam Speaker also recognized the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Lusaka International Community School in Lusaka District and teachers from school in Lusaka District. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, warmly welcomed the visitors to the National Assembly.
Thereafter, the House did consider some urgent matters without notice and proceeded to consider questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80, and the House did consider all the 6 questions that were appearing on today's order paper. And just now we take a look at some of the questions that were considered. We did have question 51, which was asked by Ms. Marjorie Nakaponda, Isoka Member of Parliament. Her question was directed to the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. She wanted to know whether the government has any plans to construct bridges at the following sites in Isoka Parliamentary Constituency: Robert in Luanga Ward, Kwama Poto Calvert, David Poto Calvert, Mwene Kombo Poto Calvert, Chitunji Poto Calvert, Mbao Poto Calvert. And the minister did respond that government has plans. In B, if so, when the plans will be implemented, the minister did respond that as and when funds are secured by the Treasury. Part C did fall off owing to the answers that were given in Part A and Part B.
Siavunga Member of Parliament, Mr. Darius Mulunda, posed a question to the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. He wanted to find out where the construction of the following infrastructure in Siavunga District has stood. These are District Administration Office, Post Office and staff houses. And the Minister did attribute, did say that the following infrastructure in Siavunga District stood due to fiscal constraints. And in Part B, the member wanted to find out when the project will resume. The minister did respond that the project will resume once funds are made available. In answering Part C, which was what the time frame for the completion of the project is, the minister did say that the project is completed, is earmarked to be completed in 12 months. And on the total cost of the project is, the minister stated that the cost of the project will only be determined once the works are procured.
And question 53 did come from Mr. Joseph Munsanje, who is a Mbabala Member of Parliament. His question was directed to the Minister of Health. He wanted to know whether the government has any plans to replace the non-functional mortuary equipment at Mache Mission Hospital in Mbabala Parliamentary Constituency. And the Minister of Health did respond that government is actually aware that the mortuary unit at the Mache Mission Hospital is old. And in B, if so, when the plans will be implemented, the minister did respond that the plans will be implemented the first quarter of 2026. Part C, if there are no such plans, why this question fell off owing to the answers given in Part A and B.
Question 54 did come from Mr. Emmanuel Banda, Muchinga Constituency Member of Parliament, who did pose a question to the Minister of Energy. He wanted to find out whether the government has any plans to connect the following areas in Muchinga Parliamentary Constituency to the national grid. And these as follows: Kandalumasha, Kaseva, Muyenda, Kamena, Chintakwa, Miswema, Mukoma, and Masase. And the minister, in responding, this said that the government has plans. In answering Part B, which was when the plans will be implemented, the minister added that the plans will only be implemented in 2026.
Those are just some of the questions that were considered under questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80. Thereafter, the House went on to consider a motion that was moved by Mr. Mishek Nyambose, who is Chasefu Member of Parliament, that this House adopts the report of the Zambian delegation to the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Africa Region Conference held in Banjul, the Gambia, from 10th to 16th August 2025 for the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 30th October 2025. This motion was seconded by Dudumwezi Member of Parliament, Mr. Edgar Singombe, and this motion has since been adopted.
The House also considered orders of the day, the Cotton Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2025 at a second reading, and the committee stage is expected to be taken on 12th November 2025.
Yes, indeed, and thereafter we did see the resumption of debate on the motion of supply, a motion of 4th November 2025, a motion that was moved by the Minister of Finance and National Planning, that the House do now resolve into Committee of Supply on the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 1st January 2026 to 31st December 2026, presented to the National Assembly in September 2025. And so, Joe, that's the business that the House considered today.
Yes, indeed, it has. And on behalf of our two sign language interpreters, Chola Kauma and Jason Manda, not forgetting Taza Piri, my co-presenter, I am Joe Akatama. Stay glued to Parliament TV. Remember, business commences tomorrow at 14:30 hours. Good evening.